So I'd like to talk a little bit about the Hawaiian chunk strum. This is a strumming pattern that you can use for in a lot of different ways. I guess maybe the most iconic would be the Brother Is version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. It sounds something like this. So the Hawaiian chunk strum has two pieces, or two halves, I guess. So let's talk about the first one. So part one, I'll hold this up so you can see it. Part one goes down, up, chunk, up, down. And it's like this. Down, up, chunk, up, down. And one more time, it's down, up, chunk, up, down. You could kind of think of it, if you're like counting the beats of a measure, you could think of it this way. And the dashes, so the D's are down strums, the U's are up strums, the X is the chunk, and the dashes are just spacers. I'm kind of thinking about this as if it's like broken into eighth notes, if you want to think of it that way. Or I would count it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So my 4 beats go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Down, up, chunk, up, down. Down, up, chunk, up, down. Like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Oops, I threw in an extra up strum there. Didn't mean to. So that's part one. Down, up, chunk, up, down. Part two starts on an up strum instead. And it's got a little hesitation. I think of it this way. Up, up, chunk, up, down. It's very syncopated. Up, up, chunk, up, down. And again, this is divided into where my beats fall. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So on that up strum, I'm going to wait just a second. So 2, 3, 4. Up, up, chunk, up, down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up, up, chunk, up, down. And it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up, up, chunk, up, down. And again, I'm going to give a 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up, up, chunk, up, down. So those are the two pieces. Down, up, chunk, up, down. And up, up, chunk, up, down. When you string them together, you end up with the Hawaiian chunk strum. It looks like this. Whoop, there we go. Down, up, chunk, up, down. Up, up, chunk, up, down. Down, up, chunk, up, down. Up, chunk, up, down. Down, up, chunk, up, down. Up, chunk, up, down. Down, up, chunk, up, down. Up, chunk, up, down. It's helpful to say it first and kind of feel the rhythm so that you know what it sounds like before you play it. And you can also see it broken into the beats here. It's basically like it takes 2 measures to complete. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's the space you need. When you link it together, it goes down, up, chunk, up, down, up, chunk, up, down. So the important thing to remember, I guess one of the important things, is when you start on your down strum, that's kind of like on beat 1. Down, up, chunk, up, down. But then we have these 2 dashes. So the very beginning of the second measure, there's a little pause here, just enough to leave this first little rhythmic space open. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and space. Up, chunk, up, down. And when you put it together, it sounds like this. Down, up, chunk, up, down. Up, chunk, up, down. The other thing you'll notice is when I'm not strumming, when I'm playing a space, I'm still moving my hand up and down. I want to maintain that fluidity. The spaces are happening in places where you could down strum or up strum. Typically, like if you're counting the beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, your down strums are coming on those beats, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you're up strumming, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and your up strum is happening on like the ands, the little in-between spaces. So when you practice this strumming pattern, it's really important to really feel sure about where those spaces are. Counting is really helpful. Counting the spaces in between, breaking each beat into 2 pieces, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then you can know exactly where each action, whether it's a strum or a chunk or a rest, like if it's a space, a dash, and you're just resting, that's for like a specific amount of time, and that keeps everything lined up so that it grooves really well. All right, good luck.